Hey, honeys. Welcome back to Life as a Question Mark podcast here. This is a podcast where you never know what will be happening next. Heck, I never even know what is going to be happening next. So we are all on the same level / page, whatever you want to call it here. I'm your host that always keeps you on your toes and is such a question mark of a person, Heather Donovan. For this episode, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently to switch it up a little bit because, I have to stay on that question mark brand of mine. Also, it is my podcast, so here we are. So first off, we are going to jump right into some TV talk. And if you absolutely know anything about me by now, which, maybe you know some things by now if you've been listening right along to this podcast, who knows? Anyways, we absolutely have to talk about the Big Brother Reindeer Games, especially since it's my favorite show in general. With that being said, BB24 and BB25 both made me lose my love and faith for the show. But with the Big Brother Reindeer Games, though, it fully restored my love and faith for the show again. Which I really didn't think it would until I was hearing about, there's something different, actual players, that we are going to get a Big Brother series where we have past competitors on there, which I was skeptical about, all because of the Big Brother All-Star Season 2, which, that was a flop. Okay, let's just all say that. But with that being said, I was very skeptical on it, but they came to play. Really? And it was totally something I was expecting to like, but as I heard more about it and who was playing, Brittany Hines, I was like, okay, this is definitely a must. And she's going to definitely bring something to the table. And Frankie was like, ooh, okay, I haven't seen him in a while. He'll definitely spice things up. And they just had some good players on there. In short, this series or spin-off series of Big Brother, whatever it is, was absolutely incredible. And I heard that they are working on season 2 or planning for it and possibly already casting it already. I don't know about the casting part. But probably they're trying to line up these people that they really want to get on there. I'm sure they'd probably get Brittany Hines on there again. They'd probably try to get Derek Lavasser. People like that. So, I have no doubt that they're probably working on casting for that, try to get these people locked in, all that stuff. But I would not be mad about seeing it again next year. It was phenomenal. We finally got the type of cast that we absolutely should have gotten in the first place for Big Brother All-Star Season 2, or also known as Big Brother 22. We finally got Brittany Godwin, or if you're like me, you know her better as Brittany Hines, her maiden name. And when they were dating, all that stuff from all the way back from her first season on Big Brother 12, which, actually, no, that wasn't my first season. It was Big Brother 12 where Jordan won it. Anyway, we just haven't seen her in forever. And we saw a whole bunch of other people that we haven't seen in forever, such as Frankie and Daniel Reyes. I remember Frankie. I remembered him because I watched the season again for a second time not too long ago. But I was interested to see, if he was still that competitor, all that stuff. And as for Daniel Reyes, I gotta be honest, I have not watched that far back. I watched all the current seasons, all the way back to season 6. And I skipped the first All-Star season because I wanted to go back and see who the other players were first. And I got so busy, and I still have been busy, that I haven't really had a chance to pick it back up. But it's definitely something I'd like to see. But from what I've heard, she got robbed in her season of Big Brother. And that she was a great player, which I can't wait to go back and see someday, hopefully before I die. Anyway, with all that being said, we've gotten to see true, amazing Big Brother gameplay that we haven't seen in a very long time, and I was here for it. I think that's probably why I made great TV. That's what we should have been getting from these current seasons, even from these newer players. I feel like all these people are scared to play the game. And it's fair because look at society. Society, we're a mess, and we need to step it up and do better. And I am saying that, and I know I'm a part of society, and even I gotta step up and do better. And I say it all the time. I say it everywhere. I will be the first one to tell you that. This cast was not playing scared and played for themselves. Instead of playing with the house majority like we've been seeing for the past how many seasons now? Because in past seasons, I remember seeing at least a house divided, but not a majority house. Or people follow the majority house where they all have the same targets. But, whatever. But we gotta talk about the finale. And my prediction was not too far off from last episode. But that episode had me at the end of my seat and screaming at the TV and on the inside, all that shit, as Philly should say it. Who would have thought that Nicole would have beaten Xavier in the Santa Showdown? Xavier's good at puzzles, and Nicole, well, I'll get to her in a minute. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I've never had a problem with her or anything, so let's get that out of the way right now. And what I mean is, I don't remember her winning a lot of comps in her last season. Basically talking about Big Brother All-Stars 2 that she played in. And I just figured that she was just a little rusty because she hasn't played for a while. But this also a reminder to us all that we should never underestimate the power of a mama bear. I personally think that her being a mom on this season, and just in general, made her this kind of player that we've seen this season. I thought that Taylor and Frankie was an even match for Santa's showdown. Honestly, though, I thought that Taylor had the win in the bag against Nicole for the whole thing. And let me backtrack for a little bit. I kind of had it right for the final three. I just didn't have Xavier in there. But I kind of would have thought that Nicole, Frankie, and Brittany would have got him out. But, I mean, it just wasn't in the cards for him, I guess. And that, I don't know. It was like all Taylor who mostly brought him and made I don't know. Anyway, the only thing I had wrong in my prediction was Brittany not going to the Final Four Santa Showdown. I mean, really, that's not bad for predicting it. But anyway, that mom power, man, you just never underestimate it, ever. I'm not even mad about it, though. I'm happy for her, and she deserves it. And going into this next statement, I realize that some haters will come out, and some might even try to cancel me, which is total BS because we live in the United States of America where people literally have died and continue dying for freedom. But, I mean, whatever. Haters gonna hate. But with that being said, though, I like Nicole Franzel. I know a lot of people will disagree on me with this, too. And it's mostly about that Ian situation where she supposedly laughed at him or something on the live feeds. I really don't know much about it because I didn't watch the live feeds that year. I think the only year I really got into the live feeds was Big Brother 23 because that shit was entertaining. They had some pretty amazing content. But the Ian thing, let me tell you this. She has anxiety, but she has such a great vibe and energy about her. I think that people do not like those who are different and are quirky. Tell me that I'm wrong about that. Us as a society, we are trained in. It's a learned behavior to not like and hate those that are different from us. And I have seen that a lot of times. She does have anxiety, which seems to be the type of anxiety that could just cripple somebody. She has been very honest and open about this. And going back to Ian thing, when people are nervous or in a situation that they are uncomfortable in, this is common psychology, by the way. Like my comment, don't like it, doesn't really matter. But it is psychology, know your education. When somebody is uncomfortable and they are anxious, they'll just do a nervous laugh and whatever else. Just do actions that they don't mean to come off as something else. And I know that because I do it. I have anxiety the whole entire 9 yards. So, I mean, I get it. And I have two severely autistic brothers. I know I talked about this in the last episode. My brothers are so autistic to the point where they are on a 3 to 8 year old level mentally and emotionally. But physically, they can be like a football player. They're over 6 foot. Like, they're 6'4" a piece or something like that. And they're about 200 pounds a piece plus some, whatever. You know what I mean. But they're so severely autistic to the point that they'll never be able to drive a car. They'll never be able to take care of their own finances. They'll never be able to have a job. They can't even be left alone without supervision. That's how bad they are. And I know that some people, like the people on Twitter who came after me years ago when this was happening, I was defending Nicole Franzel. They'll say, oh, well, you have 2 autistic brothers. You're not standing with them. No, this is not what this is about. I am not offended that she did any of that because looking into her from a psychology standpoint and how she was acting and how she liked Ian and stuff, I really think that society and people took that differently who do not have the psychology background or have the psychology knowledge or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's just my rant. I'll probably get back into that in a minute, whatever. Also, this is going into my next point too, or mention whatever you want to call it. She has a podcast currently. I'll get to talking about that in a minute. She was doing it with Victor at one point, and him and her were talking about like the situation that happened with Ian that I was just talking about. And honestly, she seemed pretty genuine. She was crying, everything. So, I mean, honestly, I believe her that she didn't mean it in a malicious way, and all of this hate is really constitutionalized against her. I just don't understand the hate in this world, or understanding, or taking a looking from something at another point of view, or even putting themselves in somebody else's shoes or situation. I just don't understand it, but it's a humanitarianism is me as an Aquarius. But anyway, she has a podcast with her mom, Jenny. She used to do it with Victor. He got busy. He's a police officer. I don't know if he graduated from barber school or not, but he was trying to become a barber or something. And he just got really busy. And generally, he wasn't interested in doing the podcast. And that's okay. If you're not interested in doing it, I believe you shouldn't put your full potential in it. I think that you should do what you need to do and want to do. But anyway, this podcast that she does with her mother is called Coco Caliente. And it's a mother-daughter podcast where they mostly talk about motherhood and updates us about their lives. Honestly, though, I've stopped listening to it probably since the summer of 2022. Not because of anything bad. Not that I don't like her or anything. It's just, number one, I ran out of my room on my iPod. I have so many others to listen to, like the Battle Podcast, Back to the Bar, The Winner Circle, Girlfriend Material, all that stuff. So I just have other podcasts to listen to before it, and I just didn't have room on my iPod anymore. Also, this is just me, and I don't mean anything negative by this next statement. It's just gotten boring to me, and I'm just not a mother, and I have zero plans to become one as of now, although I could be more open to it later in life under the right circumstances. If maybe I had the right partner, maybe I'd do it alone. Who knows? I don't know. Can't really tell what my life has planned in. You know, I have psychic instincts and stuff, but I really don't care to foresee my own life at points. So, there's that. I personally liked it better when her and Victor were doing the podcast together, but life just gets busy, and like I said, he wanted to do his own thing and all that stuff. But I mean, her mom's great too. I do like her mom too. It's nothing against them or her, but that's just my opinion. But you can find this podcast with Nicole and her mom on any platform you listen to podcasts. The final show that I'd like to talk about quickly, since the current season of Survivor has wrapped up the day before Big Brother Reindeer Games finale, actually. The outcome of the Survivor finale could have been drastically different if Jake had told Katora that he was using his idol on her. Even she said that herself, and I do believe she would have went along with Jake and voted out Dee. But, you know, he didn't do that. But she would have voted with him and wouldn't have changed her vote to Julie. And like I said, I don't blame her for changing her vote because she was in fight or flight mode. If she thought that the majority of the votes were going to be on her and that Jake was saving herself with his own idol. I do get that point of view because, yeah, why would he use it on her? Why wouldn't he just use it on himself? So, yeah, I do get that. We could have had a whole different outcome, which honestly, I can't even predict what could have happened next. But my guess is definitely Austin and Julie would have made it to the final three, and that one could have been a close call. Austin played a good game, but, however, Julie had a lot of friends in the Julie, so it could have went either way. So I couldn't tell you what could have happened. I do want to add, too, that the comp that Jake broke was very easy to break. That's all you had to do was put a certain amount of force with the right movement against that competition. But that comp was very easy to break, and that is my 2 cents. Anybody could have done it. And honestly, Dee making the big decision to not send Austin to make fire, that was smart of her because that was very strategic of her. And she knew that if she gave him that opportunity, it would have been another notch in his belt. So she knew that sending him to fire, he was A, going to come back. And number 2, he would have had that one extra thing to beat her at the end. Which obviously, it worked out in her favor. In Austin's face, when Dee told the jury that, and him at the same time, that she told Julie that she was going to get voted out so she needed to use her idol and make the sole vote to send out Emily. When she did that, Austin knew that he was screwed by a look on his face at that moment. I think that was probably the moment that she had the jury's votes, or a majority of them. I can't remember how many it was that voted with her. Yeah, it was almost a tie. Emily's statement when she held up her vote and told Dee that if she spent 1 penny of the million on that boy, then she would personally be flying out to Miami and take the money from her was fire. And I don't say that very often. So Emily made fire without even going into the fire making challenge. But man, that jury vote being so close that it was like 2 votes away from the tie, that was like really close. But I think that Dee got those 2 votes because of that truth. I really couldn't tell you. It also surprises me how Jake didn't get 1 vote though. I really thought that he did play a good game. If you look at the big picture, he had the odds against him the majority of the game, and he still made it to the final 3, even though he was supposed to get voted out multiple times. So, I mean, I am kind of shocked he didn't get 1 vote for that. Even though the season sucked until the very few last episodes where they finally decided to play Survivor, I'm glad that Dee won. She won the majority of the comps and played a good social game. Well, one of the better ones. Whatever. You know what I mean. Now for our main course of the episode. Since we are still in the beginning of the new year, I've decided to do something cool and different with you all. But before I do that, let me address a Christmas episode being late. And originally for this one being late, it's fine. It's great. I did not foresee more things than usual coming down on me in the last few weeks of December. Even though we don't really celebrate Christmas, we talked about that in the last episode. But the thing is that it wasn't even at all Christmas related. It was mostly life related stuff. Another thing too is, I have to be honest about, is that I have been either very busy to actually edit the audio of the episodes, or I have been very heavily procrastinating on editing the episodes itself. I have realized that editing these audios for the episodes is not even for me. It's just not an interest of mine personally. I'd rather plan and record the episodes and do the social media work for the pod than edit the episodes. Basically do almost everything else for the pod but edit. But my hope is to someday outsource the editing out so that I can not only get these episodes out in a more timely manner, but also be able to put my attention into other areas of the podcast, which I have been neglecting right now because of the audio and life being busy and all that shit. Thanks, Mama Felicia from Big Brother 25. So that is one of my many goals for the podcast for this new year. So if anyone has any ideas that would help me achieve this goal or get closer to it, that'd be amazing. But back to talking about the Christmas episode. Just because it says Christmas does not mean that you could not use that topic for other holidays or special days, such as, for example, Thanksgiving, Easter, New Year's, birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day. The topic is really interchangeable for any time. Just pretend that it doesn't say Christmas, it says whatever you can use it for. I mean, heck, when I was editing the audio for the episode, I even taken away some things from that. I'm like, well, that's pretty great to think about and remember. So, I mean, it's not only interchangeable, there are things you can learn from it in there, and lists you can take away from it. So that is one of my presents to you all for the New Year's. So that being said, Merry New Year's. For my next New Year's gift, I will be giving you guys the real meat and potatoes of the episode. This episode, I will be leading you all in affirmations for your New Year's. If you don't know what affirmations are, affirmations refer primarily to the practice of positive thinking and self-empowerment, fostering the belief that a positive mental attitude is supported by affirmations that will achieve success in anything. Affirmations can be any positive statement that resonates with yourself. In short, affirmations are positive statements and self-talk that help you empower yourself, create a positive mental attitude, and helps you improve your self-esteem and just improve yourself in general. I will even admit that I myself am not nice to myself, and I am sure that you all are very similar to this as well. So going into this new year, I thought that would be a fantastic idea to do affirmations to give us a better positive start into this new year. At this time, I encourage you to go somewhere that is quiet and peaceful, get comfortable, and repeat what I say after me. I will give you guys a few seconds to find somewhere to do this. Please go into this with a clear, empty mind, as this will be the most effective way to do this exercise. Make sure that you aren't doing any activities that will take away focus, such as driving. Please pause this episode now and come back to it later if you are doing an activity and cannot put your full attention into this activity that we are doing today. I will also give you guys a few seconds between affirmations to repeat after me, but also please pause and play as needed. Also, take all of the time that you need. Do not rush the process and take it at your own pace. I will start as soon as I hit the 2 pans together. That's all I have. And besides, we aren't really using them. Laugh out loud, live, laugh, love, the whole shebang. And yes, I'm preparing you for that now because it is going to be kind of funny. I will give you guys a few seconds to laugh and get yourself together. Please pause if you need more time than that. I mean, I'll probably even be cutting out my giggle after I do it, so it's all fine. So, let's get started. I am ready for a new beginning. This is my year. I am so grateful to be able to go into this new year. I am determined to move forward this year. I am so grateful for the fresh start and new beginning that this new year brings to me. The best time for new beginnings is this year. This year will be a time to create a new path. I will be in full control of my life this year. Going into this year, I have everything that I need within me to achieve my hopes, goals, and dreams. This year, I have all the skills I need. As I step into this new year, I see limitless hope, love, and possibilities. I am committing to a beginning and ending this year with a grateful heart and soul. I will explore all of the treasures that this new year offers with a curious mind and an open heart. As I move forward into this new year, I am becoming braver, stronger, and more resilient. This year, I am choosing faith over doubt and courage over fear. This new year is going to be a year of positive transformations for me. I am worthy of all that is good that will be coming to me in this year. I attract endless possibilities in this new year. With this new year, I accept change and growth. I deserve to be happy this year. I am starting the new year with positivity. This year, I'll live in the present more. I am eager to move forward with my goals. This year is the time to take action. Now is my time to thrive and shine. This will be the year of positive opportunities for me. I am determined to go ahead and achieve my hopes, goals, and dreams. This year will be a year full of abundance and joy. Success will come to me easily this year. I am ready to receive lots of love, happiness, success, and positive change into my life. This year, I'm making myself a priority. I love and respect myself more in this new year. I will give myself more patience with myself in this new year. In this new year, I am creating healthy boundaries for myself. I will take great care of my health in the new year. I release all of my poor health issues in this new year. I love the person that I am becoming in this new year. I release the person that I didn't love in this new year. I am grateful to those who will support me in this new year and release those whom are unsupportive haters. I release the need for someone else's good opinion for myself in this new year. This year, I give myself the permission to focus on the people, things, and experiences that lights up my soul. I am ready and willing to receive all of the miracles and magic that is coming my way in the new year. I am grateful for everything that I have and everything that is on its way to me right now in this new year. I am grateful for the lessons from the past years. I am leaving regrets behind me within the past years. I release the need to do everything perfectly in this new year. I let go of any fear of the past year and all the negatives that come with it. I let go of any fear that I am or may be having for this coming year. I am grateful for this fresh start. I forgive myself for this last year and grant myself a fresh start. I am excited to see the positives happen in the future. I am thankful for the opportunities I've had over the years and for the new opportunities that will be coming this year. I release all negative vibes and energies from the past years and welcome the positive vibes and energies coming into this new year. I am proud of the journey that has brought me here today, and I'm excited to move forward into a new chapter. I will make the best and most of everything that will be coming my way this year. I now will shuffle and then pull one tarot card out of the deck to help point my listeners and supporters out to the main thing that they should look for and keep an eye out for in this new year of 2024. So, Spirit Guides, what should my listeners and supporters mainly look out for and keep an eye out for in this new year of 2024? Let's see what we got. All right, we got one. We have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, like the Knight of other suits, represents work, effort, and responsibilities that follow upon the dreams and ideals of the page. This knight is the most hardworking, mythological, and detail-oriented character of the tarot deck. He may not be the most inspiring or creative knight, but he'll do the work and get the results he'll see, even if the work is highly repetitive or routine. When this card appears in a tarot reading, you are working methodologically towards your goals. You have a plan in place or are sticking to your schedule to get the job done. You may not work particularly quickly, but you are consistent, dedicated, and committed to your goal. Put one foot in front of the other and finish the job. This card also asks you to continue doing what you are doing, plodding along and making gradual progress. No need to change your approach. Go with the flow, stick to your usual routines, and over time, you will reach your goal. The Knight of Pentacles shows you that you are a natural planner and implementer. You envision your goal, determine your best course of action, and then stick to your path. With a mythological, relentless focus, you are in your implementation mode. The job will get done even if it requires hard work along the way. Meticulously in your approach, you make sure that everything is planned and executed down to the tiniest detail. And you will never leave a job half done. It's essential to you that you complete all assigned tasks and projects to a certain standard, and that you follow through on your promises. Sometimes the Knight of Pentacles points to the more mundane or boring aspect of life. The daily grind, repetitive schedules, household chores, and other responsibilities and obligations. You may be assigned to a project or given a task to do, and you will have to commit your time to see that project get through to end successfully. With the King of Pentacles, you will be required to accept responsibilities without any complaints or grudges. The Knight of Pentacles suggests that you are taking a moderated and conservative approach to life right now. While you may be feeling that the change is imminent and you are sticking to your tired and tested ways of doing things, you have established that you need routine and careful planning if you are to achieve your goals. You may not necessarily be in an exciting period, but at least know that you are on the right path, even if you're growing tired and want to quit. If this night invites you to keep at it, you will eventually see success. Alright, so what the spirit guides are telling me right now is that you may feel like you are stuck on something, most likely a project, and that you may feel tired or that it's not going anywhere, but they are telling me to tell you to stick to it, that you need to keep up with the grind and keep doing what you're doing and have patience. It will come through, it will happen, and to have faith and to keep at it. You are doing fine. That is my interpretations of the reading, and that is what the spirit guides are telling me. Now we are at the point where we're at the end of the episode. So don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your favorite stranger about the podcast. You can follow and converse with the podcast and other listeners of the pod by following the podcast social medias. The Facebook is Life as a Podcast, and the Instagram and TikTok is Life as a Pod. I really love hearing from you all, and especially from your feedback about the pod. It really helps podcasts come better. If you'd like me to touch more on a past subject, or like me to talk about a particular subject, hit the podcast pages up. We want to know what's working for the podcast, what's not working, what you guys want to hear more of, what you guys want to hear less of, all that shit. That Mama Felicia is very inspirational, I guess. You can also follow myself on my personal Instagram and TikTok at Misty's World 2022. You can also follow Linktree to everything in all those social media pages, bios that I mentioned above. This is also where you can find the podcast website. You can also show your love and support by donating to the pod. You can donate and show your support by clicking on the show support link in any notes that is in every episode, or going to the Linktree and finding our Patreon. Because that is where the show notes will take you right to our Patreon, where on the Patreon you will see behind the scenes stuff going on and other content that may not be seen or shown anywhere else. Like one blooper that I have coming out in the future. It's a great time. And you'll also see, it'll be out very soon, I promise. The first 6-month tarot card reading that I have, I've already pulled cards for them. I just need to interpret the reading and actually do it. And I do weekly readings as well. Honestly, I just need to get back into it. Don't worry, I have a whole entire plan to get back into the swings of things. Or you can hit the payment button in the Linktree, and this is also where you can find the Patreon, and besides going to the show support notes, all that stuff. When you make a donation showing your support, no matter how big or small it may be, I will give you a shout out on an episode of the podcast. And if you aren't into shout outs, then that's okay. I've got you. I could give someone a message on an episode of the podcast instead. I could give messages for other people, such as, for example, proposals, wedding proposals. Give someone the bad news that you want a divorce. Hey, I don't judge. Sometimes things just don't work. Or you could tell someone to pick off the goddamn clothes off the floor because you're sick of tripping over them. I don't know. But for whatever you choose to get for your support, it's a small token from me and the podcast as a thank you for showing your support. Please make all donations for family and friends, though. All donations will go 100% towards podcast only. For example, it could go towards paying subscription costs for either the program that I use to edit all the podcasts on, or towards the website subscription if I need new equipment or extra equipment for the pod, or it could go towards any traveling expenses I could have for the pod. So for this episode, I will close with a random word of the episode. And get ready, this is a good one. So this episode's random word of the episode is square. You're welcome. That will be it for this week's episode, and I will talk to you guys around Thursday, January 26th of 2024, and that is my goal. I'm sticking to it. I hope it works out. If not, then my bad. So I'll talk to you guys then, and behave and do better.